Well, thank you very much to Sorbet for absolutely smashing it there. We can feel the heat literally coming from his performance still. But forget about Sorbet now. That's the past. What we're talking about now is the future, and that is Thumper. And I'm joined on the sofa with O'Sheen and Alan from the band.
Hello.
What's up?
But a very small percentage of a very large band.
1/3.
1/3.
33.3%.
I think you guys are the most people we've ever had on the stage on the stream, which deserves some sort of medal, but we can't afford to give you all one.
Oh.
'Cause there's so many. Because like if people have never seen Thumper before, they don't realise. I guess it becomes a bit of a thing you always have to talk about, but you have 2 drummers in the band.
Yes.
Could you explain it to us?
Yes. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard
Yes.
The
have
OC
2.
Yes. So do the OCs.
So do the OCs currently.
You guys are big OC's fans as well. That's
Yeah,
your dream
man.
is
So
to perform
honestly,
with them.
I was just ripping them off.
Yeah.
Yes.
'Cause
But-
that's your
but,
career trajectory.
Like once you start doing it, you can't really strip it away after a while because it just feels kind of weak or it doesn't.
It just feels really good with 2 drummers.
Mm.
It's just really exciting.
That's why we do it.
So like live, are you kind of like they're feeding off each other?
Yeah,
Is
big
it
time.
energy?
Yeah. Kind
It's-
of feels like a train that's like almost going off the tracks like constantly, but it's always on.
It's like
But
on
it's
edge.
like potentially, but it's always on.
Because I feel like you guys live and breathe live. Your songs are like even the recorded versions like 6 minutes long, a lot of them. But when you play live, you'll extend them out. They could be like 10 minutes for one song. Like, is that planned or is that just like when you guys are playing, it just forms like that? It just becomes longer and.
We rehearse a lot.
I love.
Glad to hear it.
And so the idea is that, we have a bedrock of, planning to fall back on so that when we get up on stage, it can be chaos because, there's no real worry of it actually, falling off the track, to use your analogy. But,
But we try to make it fall off the track. But we rehearse so much that it kind of
Yeah.
survives.
it's like the front wheel of a bicycle, a huge one, and we're all trying to put a stick in front of it, but we can't quite get it in.
But
I
we
mean,
made the bike as well.
Yeah.
That's the tagline for watching them in a bit, I reckon. Just the chaos that will ensue. And like, it sounds like it shouldn't work, but it does. But what's the most interesting thing is it started off as a solo project, and then you just kept adding people.
Yeah, well, I just got booked for some festivals off way back when I was making tapes under the name. Got booked for some festivals, and the idea of doing them by myself terrified me. So I just slashed as many humans up on the stage to camouflage in as possible, and then pretty quickly it kind of turned into its own thing,
Of course.
So yeah, that's how that went.
There's a nice quote that I found of you that you said, "Whenever you feel down, you just add an extra guitarist."
I've never heard that before. That's my first time hearing
Yeah,
that.
twice.
Twice.
I've
You've
done-
only ever been sad twice in your entire life?
yeah, it sucked.
and it was cured. But you found a way to cure it. Just add a bit more guitar. That's incredible. And you guys are Dublin based,
Yes.
so you
I
got.
thought,
like-
you, I thought you said we have a double bass.
Yeah,
we're-
with double
we're-
bass.
we've
Well, you know
doubled
what I
the
mean?
basses.
If you get sad again, you might do.
Yeah.
And like, it's not the biggest of cities, so like the music scene there seems, from the outside of it, seems to be booming. Got like Murder Capital, Fontaines, Fan Club. They're all knocking about. Are you that much on top of each other?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, best pals.
Yeah.
Nearly,
Yeah,
you know.
it's just that it is so small, and it's sort of weird to talk about now coming out of COVID because it's been so long since we've actually experienced the community aspect of it. But at the best of times, it was in any venue. There's a multitude of different genres going on. There's a big hip hop scene coming out of Dublin. There's big folk and trad scenes coming out, and everyone's kind of breathing the same air and influencing each other. So yeah, that's the most exciting thing for me is how everyone is sort of picking up on the same inspiration, whatever's in the air, but it's coming out in different ways.
And are you all sort of like pals, or is it sort of like rival gangs walking about the city?
Kind of both, I'd say.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Is that why you've armed yourself with as many men as you could?
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
can take
yeah.
down any of them.
Exactly. Yeah, I put them through the gym every week. I get to
Exactly.
stay home writing songs,
Yeah,
getting
you're
fat.
either- You're either pumping iron and pumping out beats,
Exactly.
and I respect that. I really liked as well, like, there's another quote. You said you have to make music because you find it so interesting that it's willing something out of thin air. Like a magical experience.
That's cool.
That does
Did
sound
you say
cool.
that?
Apparently I did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
What do you think I meant by that, Jack?
Well, you put me on the spot here, and I'm glad you brought it up. I think it means that you. I don't know. I can't create anything. Look at me. I can't
Yeah.
even find something an answer
Where
to
did
that.
you come up with the idea for the 2 drums, Jack?
Well,
Tell me. Why did you make me do it?
What happened is that I thought touring wasn't hard enough. So I
Well.
figured, what's the heaviest part of the band?
Yeah.
Let's have 2 sets of that. I mean, the van you must move around, it must be the size of a bungalow.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, I guess what I was talking about is, I mean, you're talking about chaos on stage, but
Mm.
like really the whole process of writing songs is just like you're just scrambling around the dark, and sometimes you strike on something that really works and moves you, and then a lot of the time it's absolute rubbish that you're coming up with. So it's like you're constantly walking this tightrope, which I guess is enjoyable.
Yeah.
Just so if you're a weirdo.
Well, like when you first started writing as Thumper, it was quite a lo-fi experience. Really, it was like there was really low like vocals in the mix. It was sort of quite subdued, and gradually it's sort of been pulled other ways. I'm guessing by the addition of other members. So has that changed how you write? Do you still sit back and write these kind of lo-fi things, then you bring them to everyone else, and they go,
Yeah,
we're expanding the
kind
shit
of.
out of that."
I think honestly it was just sort of at the beginning it was insecurity because I was like, if I just record it really badly and rush the songs out, no one can criticize it or something. It's like, oh well, I didn't even. Who cares? It sounds like shit anyway. But like gradually, I guess you're right with the addition of an actual band and actual, people to bounce ideas off. You get more and more confident, and so yeah, it is. It's been like a weird struggle out of myself. And I don't know about how the rest of you feel about that journey. I think it's basically the same music. It's just recorded better now.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we've upgraded from lo-fi to mid-fi now.
Yeah.
By album 3, you've been hi-fi.
No, never.
It's
No.
too far.
We'll record it hi-fi and then we'll destroy it.
Just create something of perfection. That's very punk of you.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
create something perfect and destroy it
Destroy
in front of their
ourselves.
eyes. They'll never know.
Yeah.
But you're still working on solo projects aside from the band, and even then you won't put it under your own name still. Is it because you don't?
Jack, you've done your research, and I wasn't emotionally prepared for this.
I'm so sorry. But how come you still aren't prepared to put your it seems like Thumper's your main thing right now. I mean,
It's our main thing.
our main thing.
Yeah.
And then you're also putting out your own music.
Yeah, so I started putting out tunes under the name Animo Drive as well.
Mhm.
I just finished recording the record actually for that just before we headed out. I guess, have you ever watched a really good movie with a really bad title and you're like, I probably wouldn't have watched this if it wasn't recommended to me
Mm.
because it's called something crap, and then you
Lesbian vampire killers.
exactly like that. So I just it's there's 1,000 times I've been at a festival and I've looked at a lineup and it's just been someone's name and I've been like
Does it excite you?
doesn't excite me. So but I could have missed something great. I was going to call it my own name, and I was in a taxi back from a bar in Dublin called Whelan's with James McGovern from the Murder Capital, and 2 of us were shit faced in the back of the cab, and we were playing each other demos off each other's phones and over each other and talking over each other.
This
I was
is
like-
going to go down in musical history.
I was
isn't
like,
it? It's
bro.
the formation of the Beatles right now.
I was like, bro, I'm gonna put out a solo record. It's gonna be amazing. And he's like, what are you gonna call it? I was like, my own name, bro. Just my own name. And he was just like, that's shit. And he was like, yeah, what was the first place you ever lived? And I was like, Animo Drive. And then we looked at each other across the cab, and I knew that was the name.
I don't want to ruin it for you, but isn't that the same way you come up with your porn star name? Something like
Animo Drive.
Yeah, your
it's
fir-
like the first place you lived,
Is your first name.
pet's name,
Yeah.
and your grandma's maiden name. Got your porn name.
Yeah. What was my first pet's name was Floppy.
Was it actually?
Yeah.
Oh
And
my God.
what did you say about my granny?
Yeah,
Her maiden name.
her maiden
All right,
name.
we got 4
God.
lads looking at you right now.
And this became much
let's-
more aggressive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, I don't like that you've got so many drummers in your band now. God, I find it exciting. But you're on tour at the moment.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Across the UK,
Yes, sir.
Every
And-
corner.
every corner. So what's the next day? Is there any tickets available? If people like you from this stream, can they go?
Yeah,
Please
it's been great because we had no expectations really. As I said, we're coming out of COVID, and our last tour was going into COVID, and towards the end of that, there was like huge drop off in ticket sales, and you know, and we ended up stopping touring for a year and a half. So coming back into it, honestly, was just like, let's just get out and see who comes. But it's been really good. We've done Liverpool and Wales and Blackpool, and Manchester
yes,
last night.
yeah.
They've all been really fun, really packed out. So
Blackpool's an interesting place to play.
Very much so.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's a crowd.
I'm glad you picked up on that one, Jack.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Blackpool.
I've been to Blackpool a few times, and it's got the most dog shit I have ever seen in one place. I mean, no offense if you come from Blackpool, but
We were bringing a
serious-
lot to the table in that regard. Let's be honest.
How, yeah, what are you doing with your dogs? What are you feeding them? Look
There was
out.
huge
Leftover chipper,
queues
I imagine.
for chippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Chippers
the
are-
reg, Jack. Everywhere, they were everywhere.
Now, good. The food's good.
They look good, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did
too
Did
much.
you try the fish and chips by the sea?
No,
No,
I
actually.
didn't. I got in.
No.
We were all very hungover from Focus Wales, so we slithered into the venue,
Yeah.
did the gig, and then slithered back into the flat.
That's fair
and
enough.
closed all the blinds.
Delights of Blackpool were wasted upon you. The Eiffel Tower of the North. It's glorious there. But you did use lockdown to your advantage. You were in the studio.
Big time.
And you only were supposed to do a couple of songs, if I'm correct. And then you came out with like, oh, we've got an album.
Yeah. We basically booked a weekend in a studio and had like three songs we were going to try get down, and we got 8 down.
That is value
Yeah.
for money.
Yeah, it was amazing. We just pushed the drummers to the limits, got like 8 drum tracks done, and we're like, all right, we're doing
You
an album.
had 8 drummers in that time.
Yeah.
And what can you tell me about the album then?
So, well, it started off that way. It started off super live, just band in a room vibe, and then we were touring the first single off it. Everything went to shit, and then we basically hermited up in our own studio and kind of switched it from sounding like a Stooges record to sounding like some sort of twisted Beach Boys fucking wall of sound thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you're putting nails on top of the pianos and stuff
Absolutely,
like that.
yeah. There's no. It's very maximist. Is that the word?
Ooh,
Maximalist.
It is now.
maximalist.
Yeah.
I like it.
it's
I thought you were
not-
going to say Marxist then
It's
for a
not.
second.
No.
It's very. It's quite the communist record. It's the manifesto. If you play it backwards, that's what comes out.
Our hotel. It was written on the wall that Marxism was invented in Manchester,
Yeah.
along with like fucking what was it, like bagels and hats and stuff.
We've got it all. We've got like a little statue for Abraham Lincoln knocking about.
Did you
in
invent him as
Manchester.
well?
Yeah. Like before, we were like, mate, you should really wear this hat. It'll be a look. And he was
Yeah.
like, okay,
Solid,
Right
we'll go for
solid
it.
suggestion.
So was that Ad Nauseum?
Yeah.
That was the first song from the album. So, but then you said it's changed since then. So that isn't the sound we're gonna get from the album then now.
Well, that tune is on it. We actually ended up slightly revamping it and re-releasing it at the beginning of September as just a sort of like indicator that we're back and
Yeah.
alive and we didn't perish.
Of course.
But no, it's on there, and it's I'm not really sure. It's like we're too close to it now at this stage.
Mhm.
It's definitely not a bad indicator, but there's a lot of different flavors going on.
And when can we expect the album?
I'm told I'm not allowed to give specifics,
Yes.
but early next year for
next year.
sure.
Early. next year.
Wink when I get to the month. January, February, March. Oh my God, it's like a stone wall.
He's not able to wink. He,
Wow.
he lost the ability
I
to
winked and he
wink.
said, "Wow."
Yeah, wow. It's coming out in wow. So do you know what, guys? We're going to put you to the test now in a different way.
All right.
We're going to play our little game called Fast and Curious, which is essentially a rip-off of Top Gear.
Is it the same Top Gear track?
It is the
I
exact
knew
same
it. I
track.
seen it. I
There
knew
you
it.
go. So we'll get you on here. Hopefully Big Daddy Alex doesn't have to come over and it'll all work. That's the background.
Do we both get a go?
So these are the
No, just
previous.
you.
No, just
Just
be one of
me.
you. It's one per band. That's the rule.
I
So
wanna
these are
beat Oisin.
previous artists that have done it.
Who's
Is
number
there
one?
anyone you recognise that you want to try and beat there? All of them.
I'm coming for your spin. Well, Alan's coming for your spin.
148. That is a big ass. That's a smooth.
Who
sailing.
cares, Jack? We didn't come here to fucking play. Like,
Yeah. I'm a big fan of this energy. Right. Okay.
There we go. So the buttons are right trigger is accelerate, left trigger is brake, A is handbrake, and that's all she wrote. Are you feeling ready, Alan?
Yeah, why not? All right, yeah.
Can you drive in real life?
Yes.
Have you ever driven a Mini?
No.
Well, this is the first time for everything, isn't there?
What's handbrake?
A is the
What
handbrake.
was the other brake?
Left trigger. I'm feeling less and less confidence.
The camera? Oh, that's right.
There you go. That's you. There you go.
It's very slow, isn't it?
It is. It's not the fastest of Minis. That 148 is looking like a big ass now, is it? It's your second lap you want to do well because that's your flying lap. That's when you're going to be coming through.
That's it.
My
Alan.
top tip
There's
is
no
to
power
follow,
steering on
While
follow the
steering,
arrows.
that's important.
And when the arrows change colour, that's when you need to brake. But you don't need to brake that much.
Yeah.
But you do you. I don't want to be the backseat driver.
No, he knows what he's doing,
I
Jack.
need
He knows
this,
what he's
I
doing.
need
Come on.
I like the is that a Guinness tattoo?
It is.
Is that
Don't
that
distract
le-
him. All of your questions can
All
go
your
through me, and
questions-
I know everything
Okay.
about him anyway. So
Is that his Guinness tattoo?
yes,
And is that necessary in Dublin? Is that a legal thing
yeah,
to
you
get back
need
into
to
the
get
country?
back in. Yeah,
So you guys are still sort of in semi-lockdown over there.
yeah. We were just doing like half capacity shows and stuff before we
Yeah.
came over here.
Does it feel weird to be coming back to full capacity? Like, was that first show a bit odd to have that many people facing you?
Yeah, on paper I was like, oh, it's gonna be so strange. I'm gonna get sick and die straight away.
Yeah.
But
you
didn't. Still here. Still time.
There's
But
always time to die.
Alan-
There's literally a James Bond film about it.
yeah, but
Uh,
that's called No Time to Die, and this is like
exact-
there could be time.
There could be
that I will
time to die, the Irish version.
Yeah.
There is time. I shouldn't do an Irish accent in front of Irish people. I have an Irish girlfriend and she hates me.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I'm
How's Alan doing now in comparison to?
I'm not going to lie,
to
he's
spin.
quite a smooth driver. Does Alan do any of the driving on tour?
No, our guy Andy over there does the driving on tour, but Alan,
He
he's
also has-
no stranger to the wheel.
Alan does it.
Jack.
There's also another Guinness tattoo over there I've spotted. Is this a band thing, or is it just it's just a thing for being in Dublin?
Well, that's a baby Guinness that Alan has tattooed on him.
So that's
because
mainly. God,
he's mad for them.
I feel like you're going to be down a band member soon. Goodness me.
You can't fire me.
But you've worked with some like incredible like producers. So you've had like Daniel Fox work with one of your
Yes, sir.
EPs. I like you double mic that bastard right now. I like this. And that was a weird way of like you worked with him. You literally bumped into him at a party.
Yeah, well, as I said, like Dublin's small enough, so we crossed paths a few times. But it was him who contacted me and asked, did I want to like, turn the shit sounding tape noise into something that was slightly more palatable.
Yeah.
Which it was him who kind of led us down that path.
So did that change the sound of Thumper quite thoroughly then?
Well, it was just sort of like it just meant that like the music became more considered because it sort of grew to fit the format, if you know what I mean.
And at that point, did you already have the same amount of people in the band?
Yeah. But it was still, it was a little bit in flux. Like it wasn't the same lineup as it is now, and it was a transitional phase.
Of course.
But yeah, that was definitely the beginning of the next chapter, I guess.
And you started off I know you were in bands before, but you studied at BIM
Yes, sir.
back in the day, and again from a previous interview, you made you realise that, and I mean this in a nice way, and because you said it, you weren't the greatest songwriter.
I still am not the greatest songwriter, and that's the main thing I learned.
And so, but I think you are. Like when you go
The greatest songwriter,
not the
Jack.
greatest songwriter. I think you're a great songwriter. I'm looking at this. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Here we go. We're crossing the line. Sorry, interrupting this. You seem to slow down slightly when you got to the finish line for some reason. 151. That is not the fastest. I'm afraid. That is. You are in at 151.8. You are 6th now, just behind Larkins.
Nice.
Congratulations. A top 10 performance. You've got to respect that. If it makes you feel better, you can hold your head up high, because I believe that was faster than Sorbet downstairs. So you can go up to him and just shout in his face. I'm sure he'll have a great time with that. I would do the tarot cards, but the spirits made me leave them downstairs. So there's no way we can do that. You managed to dodge that. So I'm very impressed with that. But
Sound Dragon.
Dragon
Dragon.
669,420,247 says, "Get it, Rusty."
get it, Rusty.
That's my nickname back home.
There you go.
It's actually Kev.
What your nickname's Dragon 4969 fan?
Yeah, I just texted that to myself. Yeah,
That's quite an
Yeah.
original one to go
That's why you
for.
came 6. You're texting yourself, bro.
So, if anyone is watching this stream right now, they've watched it perform a riveting drive there, a top 6 drive. How would you even describe your sound? Because people might not have heard you that were on this stream.
We are the loudest pop band.
But bubblegum psych has been thrown around.
Yeah.
The first. Imagine you're a member of ABBA and you have that first Bloody Mary after a night out.
Nice.
We sound like what that tastes like.
That's powerful. In this persona, are you ABBA in the prime or ABBA currently? Because I feel like a night out
I don't
break
understand I don't understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, well, they've
What's
not
the
aged.
delineation there?
They're exactly the same. In your
ABBA
eyes.
remain
ABBA
in their
remain.
prime.
ABBA
I don't
never
know.
not.
Have you seen those suits they're wearing for the next tour?
No.
No, it sounds.
Oh wait, no,
this-
they're all they light up and shit, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
they're not actually gonna because they're old. I hate to say that they've aged. They are performing as holograms now.
They're not. That's
No.
a separate thing. They were
Huh.
doing a hologram tour, and now they're going out in the flesh, Jack.
I don't know. I think they're taking them holograms out to do their hard work so they can pop home.
That's
early
the
and have
roadies are
holics.
holograms, and then they do the gig. 2021, dude.
If you could perform with anyone else as a hologram, who would you guys want to perform with?
Glenn Campbell.
Or straight off the bat, not even mucking about.
Fergie.
As in Fergalicious, or like
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson,
Who?
the ex-manager of Manchester United.
Don't know who that is.
Is he in Fire Like Apes?
Is
Well, that's not what I meant to say. Is
He
he in
kept it
Black
quiet.
Eyed Peas?
Yeah, I wish he was. I wish he was on about his lumps, his lovely lady lumps. Check him out. What I like to do during this sort of segment is I like to sort of the telly's going to turn off. I like to sort of
Just
go
go through 'em
through people's lyrics and have
Sure.
them explain them a bit deeper. Are you comfortable with that?
Let's find out.
Let's find out, because a lot of times artists, their sphincters tighten at this moment, and I love poking about that. So this one is from Ad Nauseam. I can't pronounce that properly. How's the correct way to pronounce that?
Ad nauseum.
Ad Nauseam.
Ad nauseum.
Now, I would like to preface this by saying that this is probably my least favorite song I've ever written. Specifically, the lyrics.
Oh, I like there's
So
quite a
it's-
dark
but go ahead. I don't
background
want
behind
to
it.
don't want to throw you under the bus here.
Be wary of late night swipers. They'll
Yes.
cut you up and serve you to their
That's
friends.
the best lyric.
It is the best lyric.
It's the best lyric.
It's the one that
Um,
stood out to me, so we all in
And it's the best lyric.
agreement
I'll tell you why it's the best lyric. I lifted it off someone's Tinder bio.
here. Did you?
Be wary of the late night swipers. I was on Tinder at about 4:00 in the morning, as is the correct time to be on Tinder
Exactly,
in
the
2000 and
socially
whatever it was.
Acceptable time.
Yeah, it was someone. I thought it was genius. I added up the part about cannibalism though.
Yeah, so it's good. So you think you got to beware of like these sort of like dating apps and whatnot? They can eat you up.
I just liked how it sounded so violent,
Yeah,
and
it does.
the song is kind of a pretty violent song. So,
Did you match with that person, or did you just plagiarize them?
well, if I remember correctly, I swiped so that I could ask, could I take it, but no,
They never came back.
ultimately no,
There was no romantic goal there.
no,
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pure poetry.
exactly.
Nice.
I mean, probably the most powerful connection you can probably get on Tinder, really.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I'll never know
You'll never
who
know.
who she is.
She'll never know the inspiration. She's
Yeah.
inspired a whole album,
Yeah,
yeah.
and yet,
Sure.
well, if she knew, she might come for some money. So probably best not.
moving on.
The next one is from Down, and this one's quite dark. You're a slave until you die. Will I diet to be saved?
hmm Yeah, that's about constantly chasing love, Jack, and doing anything in your power to get it, like starving yourself skinny
Yeah.
or something else.
These lyrics just come to you, man. I can tell. In my room, smartphone making me so dumb. My dumb look is a setting sun.
That's just textbook pessimism, isn't it?
Yeah. It does seem to be like a slight similarity in those sort of pessimistic ways. Would you say you're a pessimistic man?
No,
No.
no, sir.
You're optimistic about not being pessimistic.
Every chord he's ever put in all of his songs have been major chords.
Major chords.
There's
Major
no minor
chords.
chords in
Yeah.
any of the songs.
So he's bright and colourful,
Yeah.
but yet there's this Joy Division-esque sadness.
But it's kind of
within.
manic because every chord shouldn't be major, but
Yeah.
they are.
It's a happy chord, depressing lyric. It's a cocktail that works for me.
Art.
It worked for the Smiths, and look at them now,
Yeah.
being covered by Blossoms and Rick Astley.
Yeah.
What a
There we go.
future you have ahead of you.
That could be me.
But if you want to see these guys not being covered by Blossoms and Rick Astley, then do you know what we're going to do? We're going to put them on a stage and let you see just that. In just about 5 minutes, catch Thumper beating your eardrums to death.